Hi there, welcome to Economic Observations. Today is Tuesday, the 26th of January, and thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to talk about the stimulus check, the possibility of a third stimulus check. Where did the second stimulus check go? Did it stimulate the economy? What exactly did people do with them? We're going to talk a little bit about the rent moratoriums and the mortgage forbearances, and we're going to talk about the building of a new fire station in your town with a tax increase to pay for it, and just want to know your thoughts because it's happening in my town. Anyway, let's get to it. Stimulus checks. We all got $600 not too long ago. Studies have shown that it didn't really do what it was supposed to do. If people had less than $500 in the bank, the stimulus check basically went to pay off bills, buy food, and pay for rent. It didn't go where the government intended it to go, and that was to small businesses, to restaurants, to movie theaters, and to places that are hurting. The object of the stimulus is to get out and put it in the economy. Those with $3,000 in the bank or more. The $600 checks increased their savings. So many people put the checks into their bank accounts or into the stock market. Once it goes there, it doesn't help the economy. It doesn't create jobs, and it doesn't create more money in the world. So that is the problem with the first $600. And now I guess there's questions about if there possibility is a third payout and it's $1,400, should the same people get it, or should it be more targeted? So I guess some GOP members are saying that no, not everyone should get it. Those making under $75,000 should get it, and no one else. I mean, the way it was written in the original act was that even people making $300,000 with 2 kids would still get stimulus. And it just doesn't seem fair if it's not going to go into the economy and spur it. But they found that if people who made $75,000 and less, they're more likely to go out and buy something or go out to eat or even take out or whatever and put the money back into the economy. So we'll see where that goes. There's a long hurdle to get that stimulus package going. A lot of GOP people want to see it targeted much more to those that need it than those who don't. I know there is an inequitable sense going around that, but we'll see. Let's see, today Biden's new bill out, Raise the Wage Act, raising minimum wage from $7.25 to $15 an hour. I tell you what that's going to do. If you have a McDonald's restaurant in Mississippi, the price of your hamburger is going to double. $7.25. That's an atrocity. It's a really sad state of affairs when the federal minimum wage is $7.25. I mean, who can live on it? But I'm not quite sure that $15 across the whole country is equitable. Because let's face it, living in California or New York or even Massachusetts is a lot more expensive than living in Mississippi or Alabama or Missouri. I don't know how to manage this, but maybe it should be a $12 across minimum wage, and each state can reflect that. But if you have the majority of part-time workers in some of those southern states making $7.25, how in the world is their employer going to afford to pay them $15? I just think it's going to increase layoffs and close businesses. I mean, it just makes sense. Yeah, it sounds great from an employee standpoint, right? But if I have a business and I had to pay everybody $15 an hour, I would have to reduce my staff because I just couldn't be able to afford it. I mean, Massachusetts, it's $13.25 an hour right now. And it goes up every year a little bit until it reaches $15, which I think it will do in 2024. So I think it's a little aggressive. Like I said, great for the worker. Great, good news for the worker. But I think it's going to really hurt businesses who are already hurting. And I don't think it should be done during a pandemic. Which leads me to another thought. In my town, in the past 18 months, we have cut the ribbon on a brand new high school and a brand new library, thanks to, ta-da, taxpayer dollars, right? They put an override in and it went to vote, and the majority of the town voted to have our tax rate override, meaning they can increase it more than, let's say, the 2% that they normally do. So now we're paying an increase, and we have 6% increase over the next 20 years to help pay for the brand new high school that nobody is in and a brand new library that nobody is in. All right, so we opened the high school in September 2019. It stayed open for 6 months, and in March, as we all know, the COVID pandemic shut down all schools, and our brand new high school has nobody in it. The library has been closed pretty much since March. Brand new, state-of-the-art library, and it's by appointment only, and you can only stay in there for 30 minutes. Yes, you got that right. No computers. People who are homeschooling without internet or Wi-Fi or even a safe place to do their homework have no other place to go. So much for our two tax overrides that we so desperately needed that now we're paying an extra $1,000 a year for the next 20 years for buildings that aren't being used. And now the town committee has come up with yet another new building. And this time it's a new fire station. Now granted, I'm not saying we don't need it. As you can see, our prior one, or the one we're currently using, is quite small. It's antiquated, it's outdated, and apparently not even that safe for the firemen to live in there. So what are we going to do? Have another override and increase our taxes again? Right now we already have tax rule in place that our taxes increase like 2% every year anyway automatically, and if they want to override it to build infrastructure, it goes to vote. The people of the town vote. So, I mean, the vote is great. I think it's a democratic process, but this is the difference between the haves and the have-nots, right? There are a lot of people who are working from home, and it's great that you have the opportunity to work from home, and you don't have to risk it. You don't have to find daycare. You don't have to do any of those things, and you can wake up and work in your slippers from your kitchen table all day and still get your same salary. They are so disconnected from the people in the town that are barely hanging on by a thread. Let's face it, mortgage moratoriums are at 6% nationwide. So we have to assume that even our little town in Massachusetts is at 6%. Their kids are working from home. A lot of parents, mothers cannot work because their child doesn't have a place to go to school every day. And they don't know. The people who are working have no idea that people are suffering. I tell you all the time, we don't know what's happening in our neighbor's house. We cannot assume that because we're in good financial shape, that they're in good financial shape. There are people hanging on by a thread. There are people sick with COVID. There are people in the hospital with COVID. There are people who haven't worked in 9 months through no fault of their own. And you're going to want to raise their taxes? I mean, if the unemployment rate is 25%, like they claim it to be, because I believe it is, that means 75% will vote to raise taxes to pay for a fire station versus the 25% who can't. We have seniors living in their homes, right? They've been living here 40 years. How in the world can you expect someone on Social Security on a fixed income to pay more taxes? We go to the supermarket every single day and we see the prices increase. We go to the gas station and we see the prices increase. We go to restaurants, we see the prices increase. Just wait till the minimum wage is $15 an hour. You're going to see the prices skyrocket. I mean, someone has to pay for someone else to have a better life. And I think everyone's life should be equal. But how can the poor pay for that? How can the poor, or even those suffering right now, pay for the firemen to have a new station? It just doesn't seem fair. And there's some inequities in this world. There's a lot of inequities in this world. You have people who want to be part of society. You have people that want to sleep at night knowing that their lives are worth something, that they did a good job, that they brought home enough money for their family to live comfortably, like they have been for the past 15 years or the past 10 years. We have inequities in this country, folks. And I don't know how governments or towns or municipalities can think about building some new infrastructure right now when people are hurting. I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. We have vaccinations coming out. We have, variants coming out trying to go around the vaccines. We're still over our heads in COVID. And I don't think now is the time to build a new fire station. What's it like where you live? Are they implementing or wanting to do any of these wonderful endeavors? Anyway, folks, thank you so much for watching. I am very grateful. If you found my insight likable, please like the video. And if you'd like to subscribe, you're always welcome to do that. I look forward to talking to you again. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again for watching. We'll talk soon.